My AI content director wrote this, and this is what I published after rounds of edits. The first version would have flopped. Most AI tutorials show you how to use Claude, set up cowork, create a skill file, or build an agent, but very few shows you the output and what it actually takes to get it right. AI isn't magic, it's collaboration. And today I'm going to show you the full build and the part that everyone skips, how to iterate on your agent until she actually works. I've been working with AI agents for my business and content since March, and I started with two AI agents, Xiaolongbao and Onigiri, both built on OpenClaw but running on Claude's AI model under the hood. Xiaolongbao is my main agent and my right-hand bun. He helps to breathe and run Onigiri, my content director. I've upgraded Onigiri's skill file at least twice since then, but I still use Claude to directly refine and sometimes even completely overhaul what she writes. It's the same AI model, but completely different output and different thinking. Because the model itself isn't what makes the agent good, it is what you put in. So this is where I see the gap. There's a lot of great AI content out there, but there's also a lot that starts and ends with, here's what to prompt, or grab this skill file from GitHub and then copy paste into Claude. And it creates an impression that you can copy someone else's expert template, spin up an agent, and then suddenly become an expert in that area yourself. That's not how it works. And I built my agent and published with her. So I watched the output swing from sharp to generic. And when I traced back why, the problem wasn't the agent. It was what my main agent Xiaolongbao was feeding her, as well as the skill file that I wrote for Onigiri. His research briefs to Onigiri were inconsistent, and my skill file was weak, and so her output reflected that directly. Now, before we go deeper, I want to clarify what an agent actually means, because there's a spectrum and some of it is genuinely misleading. If you are already clear on this concept, please skip ahead to the next chapter. If not, stay with me. I've seen creators demo cowork in Claude, drag in a few files, and present that as building an agent. That is not an agent, it's a workflow automation. I've also seen others walk through setting up a project in Claude and call it agent workflow and then move on. That's also not an agent, that's leveled up prompting. Here's how the concept actually breaks down. A project is a persistent workspace. You set up custom instructions, drop in reference files, and every conversation inside that project carries that context. It's a genuine upgrade from just raw prompting because your instructions doesn't vanish once you close the window, but you are still prompting and responding there. The AI isn't accumulating anything on its own. A skill file is what makes a project more than just a context. It's a structured document that codifies your strategy, content pillars, and content mix ratios. Think of it as a job description that you hand over to a new hire on day one. Without a skill file, your project has context. With one, it has a point of view. Now, finally, an AI agent. An agent is a skill file plus ongoing context plus a feedback loop. She doesn't just know who she is, she knows what happened last week, what your competitors posted, who your competitors are, and what hooks actually worked for you. She accumulates intelligence and carries persistent memory across sessions and project spaces. And that's the difference. Before we get into the build, I want to be upfront with where things are right now with Claude. Claude's managed agent feature is still new, so the persistent memory across session and self-improvement loops are still being tested and have real limitations as of this recording. We are not at the sci-fi version just yet, we are at a useful version, and useful is still worth building for, and given how fast AI is accelerating, I'm pretty sure that the improvement will come in a very near future. Now, here's also something no one talks about. You might not need an agent. If you're posting just a few times a week and you are pretty hands-on on your content and you have a well-built project and strong skill file, that actually might just be enough. It stays within your subscription plan and doesn't incur you any API costs. So there's no extra infrastructure that you need. And if your skill file is good, you will get a better output than most people will get from a full agent with a weak skill file. Think of it this way. If you want a reliable creative partner using the tools that you are already paying for, then master the project and the skill file. That's layer 1 and 2. If you want a partner to get smarter over time, and that's where agent territory begins, with the trade-off of API token cost on top of your subscription. I'm building all 3 layers today so you can decide where to stop. If you have already decided that you don't need an agent, you can skip the upcoming chapter and move on to the skill file section right away. That part is still valuable no matter you use an agent or not. Now back to agents. Here's a 3-layer framework to think about how to make an agent that actually function as one. Layer number 1 is memory. This is the brief that you write for your agent. It consists of things like who she is, who you are, what your brand is, who your audience are, and what is her job scope. So every tutorial usually covers this, and it is what is necessary. Next layer is skills. This is what turns a generic assistant into a content director. This should inform her things like your content strategy, your framework, your rules, all codified into a document that your AI agent will follow. This is where your marketing knowledge lives, and AI cannot invent that for you, nor can you copy someone else's skill file. Finally, layer 3 is the intelligence feed, the ongoing data that your agent needs in order to stay current. This includes things like your competitor research, your audience language research, performance data, trend signals. Without this, your agent works from a frozen snapshot of your brand in your skill file, and it cannot get sharper each week. So now, let's build. Since I'm recreating Onigiri, my existing content director on OpenClaw, over to Claude this time around, I already have her memory and skill files ready, and I'm going to show you 2 paths depending on your experience level and comfort with working in Terminal. First, the easy quick start method. First, you need a pro account to generate an API key for yourself. So head over to platform.claude.com to set that up. And then now on Claude console, head over to Manage Agent and then click Quick Start. There are several pre-built templates for common use cases here, but there is no content strategies just yet, so we're creating our own. Describe your needs in as much details as possible. And if you've been using Claude for a while now, it already knows your contacts and can help you to write a strong prompt. And here's the example of what I asked Claude to help me do, and it created one for her strategy circle specifically. Now run it and create the agent and then test it. We'll check the reply in the session window in just a bit. So now that it's tested, we know that it's running and your agent is active. Just know that you can continue to refine your agents and put new knowledge, new rules as you go along. Your agent will get smarter and smarter and work better for you. Finally, now the last step, set up your credential vault. This is optional and only relevant if you have connected external apps to Claude via the MCP, and in my use case, that would be Notion. Now, because I use Onigiri, my content director, extensively across her strategy circle and also my personal brands on multiple platforms, I want to create her fully with the existing memory file. So for that, I am using a second path. If you have never used Claude Code before, you'll need to set this one up. To keep this tutorial very focused, I will walk through that step, but you can also ask Claude directly in chat to guide you through the installation process and steps of getting your Claude Code set up. So now, let's open up the terminal and create a new project directory with Claude Code. Open Claude Code and input the onboarding command. Make sure that you selected the new project directory that you just created. Now I'm going to input Onigiri's memory and skill files. And I had this file written when I first set her up on OpenClaw. So Claude actually helped me write this based on our conversation and project history. And my advice here is to save your memory file on a Notion page so that your agent can reference it at any point in time. And this also makes migrating to a new platform really easy, like what I'm doing today. And here I'm just pointing out to Claude to that Notion page for it to build out Onigiri exactly the same way as I want. Now Claude Code then asks us a few more additional setup questions, so answer all of that when prompted. Now let's head back to the terminal to complete the command that Claude just outlined here. We're going to copy and paste it into terminal one by one. I won't show the exact screen here of me running through the commands for security reasons because I don't want to risk exposing my API key. And again, for your API key, you just need to go to platform.claude.com and generate a new key if you have not. And that's it. So now layer 1 is done. But as I mentioned earlier, what separates a weak agent from a good one is skill. When I built Onigiri on OpenClaw, memory files and skill files existed as two separate files. On Claude Managed Agent, they're folded into a single system prompt itself. Now, even if you're not using an agent and just working in Claude AI directly, I'll encourage you to write your own skill file so that the output sounds like you instead of sounding generic. This is what a skill file looks like. It's not a prompt. It's not a paragraph telling Claude to be creative. It's a structured document with defined section like an employee handbook. And just like a handbook, the quality of work that you get depends on how clear and specific this document is. So let me walk through each section with real content from Onigiri's file. First up, we got role definition. This is where I input who she is and what is her job. So it's not a generic, you're a helpful content assistant. That's too vague. Mine says you're a senior content strategist from her strategy circle and you handle the full content lifecycle from ideation, scripting, platform-specific formatting, and repurposing guidance. So you are opinionated, and this is very important. I want Onigiri to be able to push back when a brief is weak. That last part matters because if you don't tell the agent that she's allowed to push back, she will just execute whatever that you give her without questioning it, even if the brief is bad. Next, content pillars. These are the 3 to 5 recurring themes that your brand creates around. And the AI doesn't just decide what your brand's going to talk about. You actually have to decide that, and she would execute within those lanes. So these are the content pillars that I have for her strategy circle, and these are the content pillars for my personal brand. Without pillars, the AI will write whatever that seems relevant, and your feed will gradually lose consistency and lose recognizable identity. That means that you're losing any compounding effect. Your audience will also not know what to expect from you over time. Then we have hook frameworks. In Onigiri's first iteration of skill file, this does not exist. This is something that I refined over time after gathering performance data. By naming 5 different types and defining when each one fits, she can then make a creative decision within the structure that I designed. Next, we have content mix guardrails. This is the ratio of how often I'm going to post each content type. I set a rough ratio so she doesn't over-index on any one category. Next is also really important, what she should not do. This is the negative instructions of what she is not allowed to do, such as not having any hustle language, because that's not the branding that I'm trying to go for. So there's no such phrasings like crushing it, or for my personal brand, there's no hype language like hidden gem, and no fabricated proof points, and no generic call to action. So these guardrails keep the output on brand even when the rest of the brief is loose. Now, this is version 3 of Onigiri skill file. Version 1 is half this length, and the outputs also show it. Every script sounded pretty similar, and sometimes the hooks just open the same way or exhibit the kind of hype language that you see on TikTok that I do not like. The biggest upgrade that I've done to this skill file is the hook framework, and my own content skills are also sharpening as I spend over a year now posting on my personal brand on TikTok, which means I'm also catching things in her input now that I haven't noticed 3 months ago. And I'm able to guide her along and improve my instructions in the skill file as I go along. So in this sense, the agent improves because you improve. But what I just showed you is enough to build your own skill file right now. And remember, the way to get better and continuously improve and iterate on your skill file is when you yourself are also improving and leveling up. And the only way to do it is to know your marketing and gain your knowledge over time. Now, layer 1 and 2 makes a good agent, and layer 3 is what makes it improve over time. And without it, it is working from a static picture. So what you tell her about your brand the day that you built her, and that's it. She has no idea what your competitors are posting out there. She has no idea what language your audience is using right now and which one of your recent videos actually perform. So this is why I run several intelligence feeds through Xiaolongbao, and you can set similar one up too on Claude and using co-work on scheduled routine. Let me explain just a few of these intelligence feeds that I run. One is a competitor audit. Xiaolongbao research TikTok, YouTube, and see what's ranking within my niche, categorize it by topics and hook types, and then flag out what is oversaturated. This then lands in Notion as a structured digest that Onigiri will need to read before she writes anything. Without this, she doesn't know which angle is already crowded, and she'll pitch me the most obvious take out there. Next is audience language mining. Xiaolongbao pulls real language from YouTube comments, Reddit threads, and Quora. Not keywords, but actual sentences that people are saying, such as, I keep posting, but nothing seems to be converting. And this is what informs our hook and make sure that our hooks mirrors the language that our audience is already thinking. Finally, a performance feedback loop. Xiaolongbao actually pulls my weekly performance and record which hook type I use, what watch completion rate was, and which engagement signal dominates. He then passes this through to Onigiri, and Onigiri will be able to tell which hook types are working and which one aren't. So this closes the loop, and without it, Onigiri will make creative decisions in a vacuum. With it, she is calibrating against real data from my actual audience. If you're building on Claude, you can set this up as a separate agent task using the same process that we just went through to build the content agent earlier in this tutorial, or you can also just use co-work to set this up as scheduled cron jobs. When Xiaolongbao's brief is thorough, Onigiri is sharp. And when he passed her a partial pictures, I can tell from the first line, the script reads generic and she sounds like she's hallucinating instead of actually knowing. So that's what taught me layer 3 is an optional. And it's actually why I'm migrating her over to Claude as well to test whether she can perform better as a standalone agent with my direct instruction rather than depending on another agent's briefing. And when something isn't right, I catch it now in a way that I wouldn't have 3 months ago because of my own understanding of content strategy has also sharpened alongside hers. And that's the point. You don't become an expert because you have an expert template. The expertise is what you bring to it. The better you get, the better she gets because she is a mirror of what you know and not a replacement for it. Of course, AI is useful and she gets me 80% of the way in 10 minutes instead of 4 hours. But that 80% only works because I know what to tell her. The strategy and knowledge should always come first from you, and the AI comes second. So if the framework part felt new, content pillars, content mix, that's what I teach inside the marketing course at her strategy circle, link in the description. Next week, I asked AI to audit my SEO, and I'll share with you what it found and what I have to fix myself. So if you're interested in more AI productivity content and how I use AI to run my businesses, specifically for marketing processes, please subscribe to this channel, follow along, and I'll share more helpful tips on how to use AI. And also, I teach all the knowledge that you need to know about marketing to make your AI smarter on her strategy circle. I'll see you next week.